So Mojang recently announced that, a couple weeks ago, Mojang announced that they've canceled the Fireflies in that were going to be added in the Wild update, and well, yeah, they also did cancel the new Birch Forest that was coming. Um, basically, there are a lot of people are kind of mad at Mojang for doing this because Fireflies were the first 2 pixel mob ever to be added to Minecraft. And the Birch Forest was gonna look really new, and it would have been a really awesome new biome because a lot of people don't usually live in Birch Forest, you know, in Minecraft because they find it a little bit boring. So they revamped it, but then they canceled that revamping because one of the reasons is that they simply can't um, afford that. It's too much of a hard work, they say, to build a brand new revamped version of a Birch Forest, and adding a 2 pixel mob is even harder. So a lot of Minecraft fans are really mad at Mojang with this decision. So I personally can understand. I really wanted the Firefly to be added, and um, the reason that the Firefly was never added, the reason they canceled the Firefly is mostly because the fact in real life, some fireflies are poisonous, and if frogs eat them, frogs can kind of die. So, and Mojang didn't want to be held responsible for like people thinking fireflies are dangerous animals, because already fireflies are sort of endangered. So it was the same story with people considering sharks. They wanted Mojang to add sharks, but Mojang never did. So it was sort of the same thing. But I can totally understand the Firefly thing. I too would do that. But the Birch Forest, it doesn't seem right that they canceled the forest. I mean, they already have so much forest that it's pretty simple. You might think it's pretty simple. All they have to do is, just make a normal birch forest, and that's it. Boom. Just edit some trees. You're done. But no, it's actually, I think they said of course, it's really hard. If you go on Twitter, many of you have Twitter, I guess. If you go on Twitter, so one of the Minecraft's developers actually said that we don't know how unbelievably hard it is to code just one forest. And I really understand that. The Minecraft community wants a lot of new biomes. We've made suggestions, um, and what's amazing is how. So it's basically just pretty crazy. It's just a pretty crazy scene. Now the Minecraft community is mad at Mojang, and it's a pretty tough scene for Mojang. They're not really receiving a lot of good feedback about this decision. Because now, of course, actually, we should answer today's question, I guess. Is the Wild update wild enough? Now, to answer to get that question is probably, it depends on your point of view. Would you like it if frogs in Minecraft die with fireflies? Would you want a birch forest? Do you want any of that at all? It's all really depends on what you think, because Minecraft usually works on decisions of the public. It's the only reason they added the alley and everything like that. Because I was a total fan of the glare. It would be really useful in survival mode. But of course, the alley got chosen. I'm still happy with that. But uh, never mind that. But really, it depends on what you view about Minecraft. Whether this wild update really will be wild enough. Because now they've announced that fireflies are no longer, in Minecraft. And it really depends on what you think about Minecraft. Basically, they've canceled. It's not like they've postponed it. They've canceled it. So really, they've, like most mobs, like the alley. The alley was supposed to be in 1.16. It was supposed to be released in 1.16, but they postponed it. And it's the same thing with the Warden. It was supposed to be released in 1.17, and then it was released in Caves and Cliffs Part 2, 1.18. Now they're releasing it in 1.19, and it's official. So it's like it's sort of a pattern, I guess you can see. It's like Mojang kind of they do it so because they're still developing it and they don't have enough time to reach the deadline. So eventually they just like the Firefly and the Birch Forest. They had to cancel that because it was taking too much work. They probably wouldn't be able to release it by 1.19 release date. And since it's canceled, it's not included in Java snapshots or Bedrock beta / previews. So nobody can really get it anymore. It was a once in a lifetime thing. There's concept art for it, of course, but usually concept art isn't true. So for Mojang, it was really stressful to add all that Birch Forest and Fireflies. And I'm kind of disappointed on the Fireflies, not so disappointed on the Birch Forest though. On Fireflies, I was really hoping in survival it would be a really useful mob. Let's say you spawn in a mangrove swamp all of a sudden. Then you could you could find some fireflies or something like that. Not necessarily mangrove swamp, but any swamp. You'll find fireflies, and if there's sand, you can turn that into glass by smelting it with a furnace, and then boom, you have a light source. You don't even need coal anymore. I mean, there was a concept for that you could put them in a bottle, fireflies in a bottle, but then again, it's not so useful now that people think about it, because when you think about it, what are you gonna do with it? It's not like potions and glass bottles are a placeable block. They're only items. So if you can't really use them much. But if you have like Java Edition and you have Optifine, there's an option where like if you hold up a torch or something, then it lights up the area. And that is actually really cool. Sure, that's in Java, but Bedrock doesn't have a natural thing like that. You'll need an add-on or plugin, anything. So it's very creative, the way people thought of that. But then again, when you think about it, it's not too useful to the Bedrock Edition players, because for them it's just like a useless feature. Like pretty much how dyeing, I don't know, cauldrons with filled water is in Java Edition, I guess. I mean, sure, players really want it, but it's pretty not really useless, but still not that useful in Java Edition, because you can directly do it. So it depends on the edition of the game you're playing and what you're actually going to do with it. So basically the conclusion is the wild update will be wild enough for people who believe it is, but it really won't be that wild enough for people who don't believe it's wild. So it depends on your view, and it just depends on your view mostly. It really doesn't depend on anything else. And basically, I want to say that it's, for Mojang, I can understand. It's really hard to do all that stuff. Trying to but just trying to code something is hard enough. I understand. I mean, like I said, a lot of players think building a little forest isn't that hard, but they have to code it so that in each seed it's different or something. It really actually depends on the seeds as well. So anyway, basically it just depends on your view of Minecraft. Is the wild update wild enough? For me, I'm gonna believe maybe, because of the fact, I mean, the Warden is sort of a mid-boss now, I guess. Kind of like the Wither. It's like not a final boss, but sort of mid-boss level. It's not too hard to defeat, but it's not too like easy to defeat either. Kind of like the Elder Guardian is kind of easy to defeat. I mean, for pro Minecraft players anyway. So it's kind of like another boss. It's more fun. And frogs, of course. Who could forget frogs? Frogs are making Minecraft a little bit more, IRL-like. starting to turn, you know, more into real life. So basically, Minecraft's transforming, but I'm not gonna be against it or anything. I'm totally fine with Minecraft transforming to somewhat real life, but still has its own features, like no gravity. Otherwise, the castle I'm building actually wouldn't be here. It would fall immediately. It needs supports. So, of course, Minecraft has its features, but it's still getting realistic with frogs. So, if they remove frogs, I'm telling you, I would not want to play Minecraft anymore because of the fact frogs, they're pretty cute, and the fact that you can get a new light source from them, it seems pretty cool, honestly. I feel like it's a pretty cool feature Mojang added, how they tried to code it all into. So frogs are official, of course. Warden too. Anything that's pretty much not in the latest snapshot, it's probably not going to be added. Like the Birch Forest, for example, it's not in the latest snapshot, not going to be added. And of course, the alley. Who could forget the alley? The alley is a pretty much okay mob by my standards. I pretty much wanted the glare because the glare could help spot, like, you know, its description was that it could spot, you know, dark areas, and if there are mobs lurking in that area, it'd probably like tell you, don't go there. So I figured that was a pretty cool, neat feature in survival. But I'm totally okay with the alley as well because it helps you find items. But then again, it's like, let's say you're in you spawn your pillager outpost, which is really unlikely, and there's a village nearby. There's an alley trapped in that pillager outpost, you know, cage, and you free it, and you just give it some random item in your inventory. So then it'll collect that item from the village if it's open. Like, let's say it's in a chest, the alley can't pick that up. I mean, sure, it would be really useful. I agree with that, but it would make Minecraft too easy. Let's say you give the alley a diamond, then let's say then there's a diamond in a chest or an emerald in a chest or something like that. Then it'll pick that up, and plus, if let's say your friend has an alley and you're playing in an SMP, well, it wouldn't be such a great idea for them to open chests anyway, because they would steal your items. Anyway, yeah, so the alley is a pretty cool mob. I'm with the people who say it's pretty cool. I agree. So maybe on my opinion, I would say give it a rating of maybe 9 because it can't really, you know, do much more. It only picks items that are dropped, not like solid blocks or anything. So I mean, I would give it a 9, but still, 9 of course is really high, of course. But then again, the copper golem, I like from the start when they announced it, I knew I would never pick copper golem because it was like in the mob vote. I was like why would we need another golem? I mean, all it pretty much does is press buttons in like sort of an order, I guess. I mean, that's what Jeb said. So, but I mean, it pretty much does that. I mean, sure, having another button would be really cool. The last one we had added was like in 1.16 with Blackstone buttons, in Bedrock Edition at least. So, I mean, maybe it would be cool to have another button, but still, the mob would be useless then. I personally believe the Copper Golem is useless, so for me, it was a kind of battle between Alley or Glare. So, anyway, I think that concludes it for this episode, and remember to subscribe to FatCat Gaming, and yes, I did get a new skin. And if you subscribe, you guys can also join my Discord server. If you do happen to join my Discord server, just remember that you should be kind in that server all the time. And I think that'll wrap it up for today's episode of Ultra Gaming. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.